here we are again now, and it's like no time has passed. Gazing out upon the sunset as it sinks into the night. Many times it seemed as though a given day might be our last. Face to face with certain death, yet somehow coming out alright. I don't think that we have any cause to lament, but there's quite a lot of thrilling intent, thrilling intent, thrilling intent, thrilling intent.
You watch as the steward lumbers down the path. It's slow, but you can tell that it's not moving with purpose. It seems to be at least wounded a bit from Harlock. It wanders forward and steps into your constructed pentagram, immediately sliding and slamming down into the water where you planted it.
Now.
Lyra, now!
Immediately, lightning begins to dance between Lyra's fingers. He extends his palm and fires forth a blast of energy, striking at the creature. It connects up to the lightning rod, forming a glorious arc. Lightning strikes into the creature and immediately electrifies the pools, driving its body downwards into a paralytic haze. You see steam begin to rise as its flesh begins to boil from its body. Inien attempts to follow up with a lightning bolt of her own. She raises a palmful of lightning, cocky, confident, and ready to show up the elm on the far side of the field. However, the bolt flies awry. She didn't take into account the influence that this salt plain would have, especially boiled by a blast of fresh lightning. The uprising air currents drive her blast upwards, where it detonates harmlessly in the air, potentially killing a bird or two.
That'll show them to fly over our battlefield.
Since we don't have Gregor, I'm going to be the front line, unfortunately.
Oh,
Boy,
God.
are you.
No, it's fine.
Ash.
You got this.
Oh my God, okay. Now, the way an exceptionally dangerous monster works, and this is one that you're facing, is as they fight, you will drive them beyond their limits. They'll wildly strike out. They have the ability to respond to your attacks in kind, and
There's
sometimes
your Kingdom Death Monster.
even exceed them. So, in attacking, you need to be wise about it. You need to plan accordingly. Taking a glance at this creature, Harlock, your eyes suddenly alight. A flash behind your glasses, in front of your... Where's that light coming from? Inien's lightning bolt detonates in midair. You push them up and begin to gain insight into this creature. You fought creatures like it before. You know what it's going to do next. You can tell that should the creature be struck, should you push it to the point that it becomes desperate, it'll immediately lash out, striking the nearest, the aggressor, multiple times and trying to drive it back. This action will only happen if you push it, though. So, applying even amounts of damage or perhaps varying your strategies can stop it from being pushed beyond the limits. Trying to come up with a clever strategy to circumvent this is the key to winning this battle.
With the creature sunken into the salty, sandy snow, I'm going to sprint out of the brush and try to immobilize it further, driving a dagger into the hitchlock of its leg.
Ooh, nice.
Burying it there and leaving it.
Okay. Your strike hits home, immediately sending up a gout of blood. Ashe, you leave your knife behind and step away. It howls an inhuman howl, now caught in the puddle.
Here's the Yomi. I'm going to fire a crossbow with the string attached to the tree on the other side of the field above Lyra. I'm going to fire another crossbow with a string attached into the back of the immobilized steward.
Ooh, nice. Okay. You quickly establish a zipline between yourself, the steward, and Lyra's bush. The crossbow bolt strikes home, driving into its great grotesque back, sending up another gout of blood.
Did somebody say flexible? Says Markus, wiggling like spaghetti.
Markus, as you begin to wiggle, you wiggle free past memories.
Oh.
Facts buried amidst the ages. You remember back to a time back in Tannhauser. Perhaps it's something that Lyra said, that those dreams were meant to bog your mind down, confuse you, but you feel you've attained a sense of clarity, like you've achieved a renewed purpose. You begin to think back of a breakfast long ago, sitting around a table, where a certain tactician wandered by. You discussed things for about 15 minutes, coming to no discernible conclusions. Most of your conversations were long and winding like this. But the memory of the silverfish enkindles something in you once again. Markus, you remember that if an enemy has a plan, if you have a plan, the best thing that you can do is mess it up. Mess it up however you want. Just be wacky. Fuck with it. In your particular case, Markus, if you perform an action that tactically changes the battlefield or throws an enemy off guard, functionally changing what they're capable of, their desperation attack will reshuffle. So if you don't like it, fuck with what it's doing.
First things first, I hop out from this rosebush and I'm trying to think of which shenanigan action I want to take this turn, and it's hard. Snaps his fingers and summons a tax goat.
Holy shit! He did
Great
it!
strategy.
Oh my god, it's been years. Hold on, I need to dig
It has
up this
been
fog.
years.
Weh, eh, meh,
Yes, hello, friend. I have a proclamation to make.
weh,
Yeah, we're going to tax that thing's right eye.
eh.
Whoa.
Okay. The tax goat waddles forward, its pudgy frame dipping back and forth amidst the sands. It steps into one of the bits of your pentagram, vanishes beneath the surface, and then comes out without losing a single fucking stride.
I hate it.
You immediately begin to pull the power from the creature's right eye, the tax goat opening its vacuum-like horrid jaw, sucking the energy away like black sand. Now, with its suddenly deprived vision, it whirls around, looking around for whoever struck it. However, the tax goat is in a blind spot, and in a second, it's gone. Successfully messing with the creature's sense of balance and sense of the world, you've managed to make it reconsider its attacks, completely changing its plan. Harlock, you watch as the creature whirls around, its carefully considered plan to immediately shred whatever was next to it, immediately spoiled by its inability to see. It's currently
gotten dumber.
completely and utterly vulnerable to your attacks. Now, this is a double-edged sword. No plan, if you manage to trigger its desperation attack, will go away.
Lyra, hold!
He begins charging up its lightning bolt and suddenly breaks it off. Okay, yeah, I'll wait for your signal. Harlock, your eyes gleam once again. You can tell that the creature has a different plan, a far more wicked plan. All the spellcasters it now notices flitting around the edges of its vision, its one working eye. It intends to attack all of you, dragging you in for a savage attack. It wheels around and brings its lantern up, attempting to strike it down on Ashe. It slams its lantern into the ground, sending up a curtain of sand around you, Ashe.
Lyra, get a little closer!
Lyra charges into range, fucking duck rolls through the flower bush, comes out covered in roses, and lets loose a gout of lightning. Lyra lets out an absolutely pathetic lightning blast, just tiny little thing that strikes up at the creature, sparks hitting its eye. For some reason, this seems to really piss it off. Like, absolutely drive the hit home. You exchange a look with Lyra, he's as shocked as you are, as the creature lets out a roar, ethereal chains springing from its body and striking everything around. They intertwine through the woods, striking creatures that you didn't even know were there. You hear shrieks in the distance as everything is drawn back towards the creature. Markus and Inien, you are just close enough that they arc over your heads, you barely ducking, Inien pulling her hat down over her head. She exchanges an actually terrified look with you, Markus. Harlock, you are struck with the chain through the chest and pulled inwards, the coldness sapping into your body. Harlock, you are struck and you can't quite grab hold of anything as you are pulled forcibly next to the creature. You look up at it as your body is just ragdolled the entire distance.
Watching Harlock rocket across the battlefield, my eyes widen and I sprint around the creature, making an angle turn to slide in and catch her before she slams into it. Fuck, Harlock. That is a real bad sand rash.
It happens to the best of us. Thank you, unironically.
No, of course, I'm always glad to help, unironically. This is gonna sting. I cover the sand burn with my hand and clamp down.
That stung unironically.
Yeah, I know. I told you it would sting. Sorry. I am a little covered in your blood now.
Okay, it's not that cool. And I'm going to use my turn to zip away to using the zip line that I had already established, because that's Yomi.
You scoot back immediately. Furthermore, you can take an additional action.
I am going to use my additional action to fire another zip line across the field, but to the next set of trees over here.
You managed to do it with grace and ease. You get pulled over and like a yo-yo, you just go right the fuck back. Like, you get out of there immediately. The steward looks down like, Inien's going to take her turn. She's going to reach out and grab Markus. Markus, you feel magic energy run through you and your body begins to shift and waver a little bit. You look like an almost hallucinogenic version of yourself.
Inien, what are you doing to me?
I'm making you a little bit harder to hit. There you go. Enjoy. Have fun.
Yeah,
She pats you
thanks.
on the
I
back.
feel like I'm vibrating way too much. Whoa.
That's fine. Hopefully it'll look like you're vibrating to that thing too.
Now vibrating very slightly and looking far blurrier than your average person should ever be.
Markus smears his way across.
Yeah, Markus
the
smears his way across the sand, leaving wavering footprints. Partway through his sprint, he looses an eldritch blast aimed at the thing's remaining good eye.
Ooh,
And
nice.
then, once he reaches his destination, he reaches back, shadow coiling into one hand, and memories of the silverfish fresh in his mind. He unfurls a giant black fan, which he sweeps
Whoa.
up, sending a spray of soggy sand at the creature.
Ooh,
Oh, you're doing it.
fantastic. Okay, cool.
Lyra, zap the sand!
Oh, hell yeah. Okay, cool.
Shenanigans!